Namo Buddhaya. Welcome and welcome back to another video. I think you can remember, in last video we talked about how little changes, little things can make big changes in our life. Okay, so in life the little things matter the most. So in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you 3 simple daily practices that can make a huge impact in all of our lives. So if you practice this, it is guaranteed that it can help you in many ways. Okay? So without further ado, let's dive into the video. So the first practice is to practice gratitude. Right? So most of the time, we are not happy with the life that we have gotten. Right? We think my life is terrible. Right? This is worthless. I'm not worth living. But when you practice gratitude, the first thing that we can do is to be grateful for our life. Every day, when you wake up in the morning, just close your eyes and think, I am grateful for the life that I have gotten, right? I'm grateful for every experience that the life have given me, that made me strong, that taught me many lessons. So be grateful for your life first. As the second step, be grateful for every person who is living around you. Okay? There are many people who have taught you many lessons, good or bad. Okay? There are good people who have given you nice memories, and there are bad people who have taught you good lessons to your life. Be grateful for everyone, no matter who the person is. It doesn't matter. Okay? So the one practice is to practice the gratitude. That is very simple. Take a few moments to do that. So the second practice is to practice mindfulness. During your day, take a few moments, maybe like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, to be mindful about what you are doing. To be mindful, you don't want to sit in one place or like do in a meditation posture. All what you have to do is to be mindful or to focus your mind to what you're doing. Maybe like if you're walking, just know that you're walking. Be mindful about it. Pay your attention to it. Okay? Or sit in a quiet place or sit in a relaxed place. Sit on a chair, maybe sit in the meditation posture and just focus on the in-breath and the out-breath, how you breathe. Okay, that is one practice that you can practice to be mindful. And the final practice is to have a positive self-talk. Instead of positive self-talk, what we are doing, we talk negatively to ourselves. We think like, oh, I'm worst, right? I don't have any value in this life. Nobody loves me. Nobody takes care of me. The more you do it, it will make you a habit, and it will make your inner personality more negative, to think more negatively. So what we can do is take a little time in the day to have a positive self-talk with yourself. You think you value yourself. Oh, I am worthy of loving, right? I am worthy of living. My life is great. Okay? I can do many things. I can be more productive than I am. Okay? Always believe in yourself. This is one thing that I see in many people and many of our lives, that we can be more productive than now we are. Okay? We can be more productive and more successful than who we are now. Okay? So have a positive self-talk. Then it will make you a big change in the long run. So practice these little simple practices in your day and make your life a better one. Welcome everyone to another video. In today's video, we are going to take a look at the 3-fold practices in Buddhism. Now, no matter how the way that you are approaching the Buddha's teachings, these are the 3 practices that you need to practice in Buddhism. Okay? So we are going to take a look at these things. Before understanding these 3 practices, we have to understand why we should practice these things. Okay, what is the goal and what is the ultimate goal of Buddha's teachings? Now, the ultimate goal of all the Buddhist teachings is to liberate your mind from unsatisfactoriness. Okay, liberate your mind from all the sufferings in life. Okay, because the Buddha said that the life is based on unsatisfactoriness. Okay, so once you have a deeper and a wiser understanding about your life, then you can liberate your mind from all the unsatisfactoriness in your life. Okay, so Buddha realized that to achieve this state, to enlighten your mind and to liberate your mind, you need to make some conditions and you have to practice your mind. So that is why Buddha introduced us these 3 practices to practice in our practical life in order to enlighten our mind. So without any further ado, let's dive into these practices. So the first practice in Buddhism is called Sila. Now I have discussed about Sila in an earlier video, you can watch it here. So basically, the Sila means the moral and ethical conduct. Being disciplined from your body and from your words. Okay? So once you practice this Sila, you can be disciplined from your body and from your words. Now Buddha understood that when we are living with people, the way we behave, right? The actions that we do from our body and the words that we speak will impact the lives of other people as well as us. Okay? It will impact the life of ourselves, the way we behave and way we speak. And also, it will highly influence the others' lives too. And that is why Buddha said, purify your conduct. Do wholesome things from your body and from your words. So Sila helps you to practice the verbal and the physical conduct in a moral and a more ethical and wholesome way. Okay? So in Sila, we have precepts. Basically, for lay people like you, you have 5 precepts that you can protect. Okay? The first one is abstaining from killing beings. The Buddha says that stay away from killing beings. In that way, you become disciplined from your body. Abstaining from stealing. Do not take others' possessions without their permissions, without the permissions of themselves, with the stealing mind. Okay? Once you protect that, you be disciplined from your body. And Buddha said that stay away from sexual misconduct. When you abstain from sexual misconduct, you become disciplined from your body. And the Buddha said, stay away from lying. Be disciplined from your words. Do not break the trust of others from your words. And finally, Buddha says, stay away from intoxicating your body. Okay? Do not use intoxicants and other drugs. It will lead to harmful situations and harmful consequences in your life. So basically, Buddha introduced us these 5 precepts to protect in your life. When you observe and when you protect these 5 precepts, you become disciplined from your body. Okay? So that is why Sila helps you to be disciplined, to live a disciplined life. Why we should live a disciplined life? We should live a disciplined life to stay away from regrets. Because when you look at these 5 precepts, if you engage in these things, if you kill animals, if you steal others' possessions, if you commit sexual misconduct, if you lie, and if you intoxicate yourself, what will happen? There are a lot of regrets. There will be a lot of regrets in your life. And also there will be things that you have to worry about. That is why Buddha says, stay away from these 5 things and you will live a regretless life. Okay? So that is the first practice. Moving on to the second practice, we have Samadhi. Now, Samadhi can be translated as concentration or mental peacefulness inside your mind. Now remember, this Samadhi is supported by the first practice that is called the Sila. The Buddha said, when you practice Sila or when you live a moral and ethical life, what will happen? You will have less regrets in your mind. You will have no regrets in your mind. once you have no regrets in your mind, what will happen? It will lead to the mental happiness. Because most of the people, they worry about the things that they have done in the past, okay? Unwholesome things that they have done in the past. But once you live according to the precepts, once you live a virtuous life, then you can be happy about yourself. And also, your mind will be in a good and a happy state. That is why this samadhi is supported by the sila. Now, why we need samadhi? Now, we need samadhi to think clearly. Because you know that when your mind is busy, when your mind is scattered, and when it runs here and there, it is very difficult to think clearly. Now, Buddha considered that thinking clearly and thinking freely is a great benefit to understand the reality of your life. And that is why we need to practice samadhi. For practicing samadhi, Buddha introduced many meditations. So one type of meditation is called samatha meditation. Samatha meditations helps you to condense your mind and find that peacefulness inside your mind. Okay? It includes loving kindness meditations, breathing meditations, mindfulness meditations. All those meditations will help you to achieve a peaceful and a calm life. Okay? So, but remember this, to achieve a peaceful and calm life, we have to focus on living a virtuous life, living a disciplined life. Keep that in your mind. So let's move on to the third practice, and this is the final practice in Buddha's teachings. That is called wisdom or panya in Buddhism. Now, so many people think that knowledge is wisdom. Always remember, knowledge is a part of wisdom, but it is not the wisdom. Now, Buddha explains that you must achieve wisdom from three means, from three types of wisdoms. The first type of wisdom is called Suttamaya Panya. Suttamaya Panya means the wisdom that is gained through learning. Okay, you can learn, you can read, and you can listen to sermons, right? That is called the knowledge. Of course, wisdom has a part of knowledge. And also the second type of wisdom is called Chintamaya Prajna. Chintamaya Prajna is the wisdom that is gained by wisely reflecting. Okay, the wisdom that is gained by wisely reflecting on what you have learned, the reality of your life. When Buddha teaches about the reality of the life, when Buddha teaches about the impermanence and the reality of all the things, you have to wisely reflect on it. Okay, you have to think upon it. And once you think and once you wisely reflect on it, you gain the wisdom. You gain a deeper understanding. Okay, that is called Chintamaya Prajna, the wisdom that is gained by wisely reflecting. And also in the third type of wisdom, this is the most important type of wisdom, that is called Bhavanamaya Prajna, the wisdom that is gained by practicing. Okay, now the wisdom that is gained by practicing is supported by all those two wisdoms, Chintamaya Prajna and Suttamaya Prajna, the wisdom that is gained by listening or learning, and also the wisdom that is gained by wisely reflecting. Now, Buddha says, when you learn and when you think and when you wisely reflect on it, then you can apply it to your practical life by doing meditations, by doing it practically. Okay, many of the people believe that Bhavanamaya Prajna is only based on meditations. No, Bhavana does not mean only the meditation. It gives the meaning of development or practicing. Okay, so you have to look, how can I apply these Buddha's teachings? How can I practice these things in my practical life? Once you do it, your wisdom will be developed. That is how you practice the wisdom in Buddha's teachings. So basically, these are the three main practices in Buddhism. Sila gives you the ethical and wholesome bodily and verbal conduct. And Samadhi will help you to develop a concentrated and a calmer and a peaceful mind. And Prajna gives you a deeper and a wiser understanding about the reality and our existence and all the experiences that we go through in our life. Once you practice these 3 practices, you will be directed. Your life will be focused on liberation. Your mind will be well prepared for the liberation and to a deeper understanding about the life. So these are the 3 practices that we practice in Buddhism. Try to practice these things and try to apply it to your practical life. Wish you all happy and a peaceful life. Have you ever wondered why some people are so good and so clever in what they're doing? Maybe there are some people who are studying with you, maybe some people who are in your workspace. There are some people who are very clever and very capable of doing in their profession. Okay, they are very successful in it. What is the reason behind this? What is the reason behind this success? Well, if we can define success in one word, the only word that we can find is consistency. This quality is very important for all of our lives. Not only in your day-to-day life, not only in your career, but also in your spiritual path. Okay? If someone is practicing spiritual path, consistency is the key for success. Okay? Now, what do you mean by consistency? Consistency means doing something every single day or without stopping for a long period of time until you get better at it. Now, if we look at our life, there are some bad habits we all have in our life. Okay? Why we are so good at these bad things? The reason behind why we are so good at bad things is we have done it for a long period of time every single day without stopping. That is the nature of our mind, and that is the nature of our life. Whether it is good or bad, if we are doing it consistently, or if we are doing it over and over for a long period of time, we get so good at it. That is why we are so good at distractions. That is why we are so good at anger, jealousy, and all these evil thoughts in our mind, because we have practiced it over a long period of time. Now, Buddha said, if you need to cultivate wholesome thoughts, and if you need to do, and if you need to be successful in your spiritual life, what are you going to do? You have to cultivate and you have to practice these wholesome thoughts or wholesome activities for a long period of time without stopping. Okay? Every single day. Okay? Let's keep the spiritual life for a part. Let's take the studying and education. Now, if you're someone who is studying, and if you're someone who is focused on education, what do you have to do? You have to keep studying. Okay? Sometimes you find very difficult and very challenging to keep studying. Why? Because our mind gets distracted. Okay? Sometimes we lose our focus. Now, in that time, so many of people, they complain that I cannot study. Okay, I'm distracting always. What is the reason? Why? What is the problem with me? Well, the only problem behind the failure or the unsuccessfulness is lack of consistency. Sometimes we try to study and then we feel tired and we feel less focused and then we give up. Okay, and then after maybe like 2-3 days, again we try to study and then again the same thing happen and then we give up. Okay. In that way, you're not going to be successful. Okay? If you want to be successful in any field of your life, maybe studying, maybe in your meditations, maybe in your spiritual life, maybe in kindness, maybe cultivating compassion in your life, what do you have to do? You have to be consistent. That is the only way to be successful in anything. I can still remember when we came to become monks, okay, on the first day, our monks gave this first advice to us. That is, they said that it takes several minutes to become a monk physically. Okay? It takes a few minutes to make your body a monk. But it takes years and years, maybe lifetime, to be a monk from your mind. You will fail, you will be unsuccessful in some parts in your life, but you have to keep going. Do not ever quit.
That is the first advice that we were given. So to be good at anything, to be successful, to be happy, to be successful in your spiritual life, to practice meditations, to be good at that, what are you going to do? Keep doing it every single day. That is the thing. But there's a problem. The real problem, or the real enemy for the consistency, is the higher expectations. We set a lot of high expectations in our life, and when we are not able to get it, we give up. That is the only thing. Now, so many people come to me and complain that I cannot meditate for 1 hour. What is the problem with me? I cannot focus for 1 hour. Well, in the beginning, no one can do that. Okay, there may be some few lucky people in this world. Okay, they can concentrate instantly. But if you want to be good at in your meditations, in your focusing and your concentration power, what do you want to do? Keep doing it. Okay, do not set high expectations. Right? Aim for the little achievements. Maybe like you can focus and you can think like, before you are starting meditation, you can think, well, if my mind became concentrated or well focused only for 1 minute, that's okay. I'm happy with that 1 minute. Okay? When you focus on that, you can easily achieve it. You can do that. When you achieve it, you feel a sense of happiness in your life. You feel like you achieved that target. So in the next day, when you meditate, maybe you can focus your mind, or you can concentrate your mind for 2 minutes. Okay? So if you keep on focusing on little achievements and without having high expectations in your life in the first time, then you will be good at maintaining your consistency. Because sometimes when we don't see results, okay, when we don't get results quickly as we want, we just give up. That is the biggest problem in our minds. Okay, to be successful, you need to spend a period of time that you are not seeing the results. Okay, one day I was climbing, and in Sri Lanka we have a nice mountain where we climb to see the Buddha's footprint. Okay, that is called Adam's Peak, or the Sri Pada in Sri Lanka. So once we were climbing, we could not see the mountain top. We don't know where we are going. Okay, so one monk said to me, it doesn't matter, you cannot see where you are going, but if you're clear in your next step, take that step. Okay, and if you're in the correct path, no matter how fast or slow you go, you will go to your destination that you want to go. So always remember that it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you are moving towards success. The most important thing is that whether you are going to do it every single day in the correct way or not. So remember, consistency is the key for success for anything. So keep doing what you're doing, right? Keep doing the good works that you're doing, even if you don't see the results in your life. Keep doing it, and one day I'm very sure that you will achieve your goals definitely. So keep that in your mind. May you be happy and well. Welcome to Inner Guide Q&A program, where we find the answers for our life's problems through the great teachings of our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. So one of our viewers have asked a question from us, that how to stop the bad habits. How to stop the bad habits. So today from this Inner Guide program, we are going to learn and find how to stop a bad habit. Before learning how to stop a bad habit, first of all, we have to learn and find what is a habit and how a habit is formed in our life. Normally, habit is something that we do again and again throughout a long time, and after doing it through a long time, it will become automatic, right? After it becomes automatic, it does not require any effort to do, right? There are so many habits in our life, either good or bad. There are so many habits, right? So for an example, let's take early in the morning, you all get up and you go to your washroom and you take your toothbrush and put some toothpaste on it and you brush your teeth. Now, brushing your teeth is a habit. No one gets up in the morning and think, oh, I should brush my teeth today also. No one become sad or depressed of brushing teeth, right? Why is that? Because it has become a habit. Because from the little age, from the age that we were as babies, right, we brushed our teeth daily. And with the time, it became a habit. It became something that happens automatically. Normally, we get up early in the morning and we just go to the washroom and we brush our teeth. It does not require any effort, right? So, that is how a habit is formed. We do it for a long time and it becomes something that is very easy and well known, and it does not require any effort. So, there are good habits in our life as well as the evil habits. Now, our focus and our main target should be to reduce these evil habits. So, what are the evil habits that we have? Normally, the main evil habit that we have is we become angry with people all the time, don't we? We become angry. We get angry with people who are in our families, who are in our workplace, right? Why that happened? Did you think why is that happening? Because we have practiced this anger for a long time and it has become a habit. And do you need any effort to be angry with anyone? Do you want to take any effort to be angry with any person? No, you don't. Why? It has become a habit, right? And there is another bad habit. It is the feeling jealousy of others. It does not require any energy. You don't want to think about it. It comes to your mind automatically. And the craving and the lust. When we talk about that, normally we have the habit of craving the things. And the lust has become a habit to our life. So, that means we have practiced these evil thoughts throughout a long time and it has become a habit. And that is how the evil habits are formed in our life. So, how to break these habits? Well, there is only one way to do that. And that one way is to replace that evil habit from a good habit. Okay? That is the only way you can do that. Stop a bad habit. Instead of practicing that evil habit, in that time, you can practice another good habit. Suppose you get angry with a person, right? You are a person who gets angry all the time. You are a person who loses your temper all the time. So what you have to do, you have to understand about your habit. You have to understand about your situation, right? Now you have to think, I get angry all the time, right? The first step is to understand about your situation. Number 2, you have to think that this evil habit, this bad habit is not good for my life. It will never make any good for my peacefulness or my spirituality. The more you think about that, right, the more you think about the disadvantages of your evil habit, your mind always try to reject those thoughts. Because you are thinking about the disadvantages of those evil thoughts. right? Normally when we see some disadvantages of a special thing or a person or whatever it is, normally we don't like to be with that, right? If you are going to the supermarket and when you're going to buy something, if you come across and if you see some disadvantages of buying that special thing, do you buy that? No, you don't, right? Same as that, you have to think about the disadvantages of your evil habits. That is the second step. And then as the third step, you can bring out a good habit to practice instead of that evil habit. Suppose you get angry with all the time, with people all the time, okay? So what you have to do, instead of blaming others, right? Instead of blaming for the little mistakes of others, what you have to do, you have to practice to be silent, and you have to practice to spread love and kindness to them. And also you have to train your mind to forgive them, right? Sometimes we may get angry for little things, right? The fights and the troubles that they are going on in the family life or in the workplaces are for very little things we are fighting. Remember, if we cannot forgive the people around us, we will never live peacefully, right? If you don't have the habit of forgiving, you cannot live peacefully, because we cannot expect the people around us to always to do good things and the things that we like, right? They may do weird things, but if we cannot forgive and forget, right, you will always see the mistakes and the wrong things and the troubles that has done by the people around you. The more you see it, the more you will become distracted in your mind. So instead of developing that evil thought, you can develop a wholesome thought. It's like this. Now, there are two sides of our mind. That is the evil side and the wholesome side. Okay? Think these two sides as two animals. Okay? So one animal is very dangerous, right? And the other animal is very calm and quiet and serene. And it is very useful. So if you keep on feeding one animal, suppose you fed the dangerous animal, the more you feed that animal, the more that animal will be strong. And that animal, with the time, that animal will control that other, the wholesome animal. Right? The problem with us is we are feeding this dangerous animal. Right? Instead of feeding the dangerous or evil side of our mind, what you have to do is just feed the wholesome animal. Right? If you feed the wholesome side of your mind, what will happen? It will start to develop. Right? When it starts to develop, it can overcome and it can control the dangerous or evil thoughts of your mind without letting that evil thoughts to appear inside your mind. So what you have to do, just feed, always do and say the things and think the thoughts that feeds the wholesome side of your mind. Then with the time, that habit, that evil habit will be broken, and you will find that you always have a good habit instead of evil thoughts and evil habits. And that is how you break the evil habits in your life. So stop feeding the evil thoughts in your mind. Instead, feed the wholesome thoughts and make your life a peaceful one.
Have you seen those people who are walking on slack lines or cables? They do these amazing stunts on these cables. Now, you may think that it is an easy task to do. No, it is the most difficult thing to be balanced on that cable. It is very easy to fall into either sides. Same goes with our life. It's the most difficult thing for us to be balanced. to balance our inner self and the outer self, right? So from this video, I would like to talk with you about an important place, an important area of us to be balanced, right? This is the area of we helping others. I read this wonderful quote. That is the reason that I wanted to make this video. I read this wonderful quote in a place that says, to not lose yourself in the name of helping others, right? That is amazing, right? For an example, let's say there is an empty jar or an empty vessel, right? Can you fill other cups with this empty jar? No, you can't. If you need to fill other cups, then you need to fill the jar first. In the same way, the Buddha says that you need to fill yourself. You need to take care of yourself, right? You need to improve yourself in order to help others, right? But it is very easy for us to be it in an extreme. Let's say if you're someone who is committing the fullest in yourself on the happiness of others, on the benefit of others, on the betterment of others, right? If you are a parent, if you are someone, if you in your relationships, let's say you are committing your fullest self to maintain this relationship and to help others and to make others happy, right? This can be an extreme. This can go to an extreme where you lose your character, you lose your identity, and you lose who you are in the name of helping that person, right? From the other person's perspective, it is a good thing to do. It's a great help for that person. But when you too much helping others without taking care of yourself, when you forget to take care of yourself, there are certain downsides that occurs in your life. One of them being, the more you help without improving yourself, you reduce the quality of your help, right? You reduce the amount, the productivity of help that you're going to give to that person, right? Now, with the time when the quality reduces, that person is not getting what they got before. And they will complain, why you're not giving me, why you're not committing your fullest self for this. But in reality, you're doing it while losing who you are. Okay? So that is why the Buddha said it is really important to balance that, to be in balance when you help others. So the Buddha gave a wonderful simile or a metaphor to understand about this. Buddha said, be like a cow, a mother cow who has a baby calf. What do you mean by that? That means, the Buddha said, there are two jobs for a mother cow to do. One is that she should graze. She should first feed herself. Okay? She should eat grass and graze and feed herself. And also the other job is to take care of the baby calf. She should give milk to the baby calf, right? What if this mother cow forget one job? Okay, one of these jobs. Let's say the mother wanted to only to graze and feed herself and not take care of the baby. What happened? The baby calf will die eventually. What if the mother only gave milk, only be focused on giving milk to the baby calf? Then the baby calf will survive, but mother will die eventually, right? So in the same way, the Buddha said, for monks, as monks, we live and we are committed to a spiritual life, right? That is the sole purpose of entering a monkhood, to live a spiritual life, to be more focused on the spirituality. Now, when you do that, it doesn't mean you don't help others. You don't help and you don't work on others' happiness, right? But when you do that, okay, one part of our monkshood is to help other people with Dhamma, with Buddha's teachings, and helping with doing charity and doing helping them with emotionally, right? When you do that, there is this part, we forget our main idea. We forget our main goal, why we came to this monkhood. And our jobs go in the other way, okay? Sometimes it's very easy for us to be engaged in charity, to help other people, and be there for other people when they need. But when you do that, sometimes we forget to improve ourselves. So the Buddha said, it is the monk's duty to maintain this balance in the spiritual life while doing all the works and the chores and the duties in the monastery, right? While helping other monks and helping to the monastery, he must take care of his spiritual practice as well. He must be balanced in that as well. So to do that, you have to be like a mother cow who is feeding her baby and taking care of her as well. So keep it in your mind that yes, you need to help other people. It is very good to help other people. And if you need to give your fullest self, if you need to make others happy that will make you happy, what do you have to do? First, we need to improve ourselves. Okay? So that is why it is really important to have some time during the day to take care of yourself. I like to call this me time. I have this me time every single day. No matter what duties that I have, I spend time for myself. Learning something, maybe practicing something to myself, to my benefit, so that I can help you people and people around the world in a more good way, in a greater way. Okay? So it is really important for all of us to balance this help to others and also help to ourselves. So I wish that you got some idea about this balance in life. So I wish may all of you be healthy, happy, and free from sufferings.